Instagram, Meryl Davis. Oh, we need the mic. I'm new at this, in case you can't tell. I'm Meryl Davis with the one and only Jason Brown, 4-time medalist at the U.S. Championships, recent bronze medalist. Congratulations on these championships. What has the experience been like for you?
It's been great. I've been through a lot of change this season and just adapting every event along the way with my coaches, and every event we have a different goal, and I'm really proud of the fight that I showed this week, and to be back on the U.S. national podium, I'm really, really proud of.
Well, congratulations on that. I've heard you talk a lot this week about change and evolution and growth. What does that mean to you? What is the significance of all of that?
I think one of the surprising questions that, I don't know why I find it so surprising, but everyone keeps asking me, like, why'd you continue? Why did you want to go another 4 years? And I think for me, it was that I knew I had more to give. But that being said, I knew that to unlock whatever that was, I needed to make a change. And I was determined to make a change. And I didn't want to come back to these U.S. Championships a year later and not feel like a changed skater and a completely different athlete. And before the event even started, I was so proud of like that change that I had made and all the growth that I've made. And I'm coming to these U.S. Championships and I feel different, and I feel already so much growth in such little time, and I can't wait to continue on this season and the rest of the next 3 years coming up.
And so you have committed to a 4-year cycle. And I know, of course, a lot of skaters take it year by year, and so you've made the commitment for the next Olympic cycle.
Absolutely. When I moved to Toronto, I told Tracy and Ryan, I was like, 4 years. And they looked at it and they were like, okay. They were like, it's going to be 18 months of really being uncomfortable, and we're going to be trying a lot of different things out on you and throwing a lot your way, and we'll see how you adapt to it, and then you'll kind of start picking it up and we'll move forward. But it is a 4-year plan, a 4-year cycle. All our mindsets are on 2022.
That's great. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about your coaching change and about your, what that's like for you. But first, I want to ask you, you're so well-loved by everyone. And that's not even exaggeration. You're well-loved by everyone. And you've been so successful already in your career and at such a young age. And you talk about change and growth and evolution and embracing the change, which is great. But what do you feel like you need to change? And you say you're so proud of the change, which is great. But I'm just curious, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I think as far as the skating specific goes, they're doing a lot of technical changes on my jumps, kind of smaller things that I think maybe people on the outside wouldn't know, but in the skating world, it's about like head placement and your rotational position. And I think skaters know that makes such a big difference, and just turning your head one way versus another could make you feel completely off on a jump. So there are things like that are small changes that make a big difference, that you feel big. So there's a lot there, a lot of skating skills that Tracy is working on with me to continue to make me even more mature and really grow on the base that I've had as far as my skating goes. But as a person and as a perspective, I think one of the biggest changes for me is facing kind of my nightmare season last year. While it was horrible and I never want to relive it again, you kind of realize like I survived it and I'm stronger for it, and I'm not afraid to fail that way anymore because I know I'll come out the other end. And I think that is huge. We're working a lot on focus. I think generally you see me a lot more smiley and happy. And this week I've been very, very in my zone. I've had earplugs in until I get onto that ice to compete. They're really working on that. That was the first thing after Skate Canada this season, and I had a rough go. And Brian looked at me, and like the only thing he said when we were done skating, he was like, "You really have to work on your focus. Like, you were too nice to too many people. You kept saying hi to people. Like, this is your time. When the event's over, you be Jason. But while during this, we really need to work on you zoning in." And I've been working so hard on it with change. I guess you're still, it takes a lot of energy for me to stay so focused, but hopefully it'll become natural in time.
Well, it's so interesting because, I've spent a decent amount of time with you, and your reputation in the skating world is just being the happiest, smiliest, just most friendly person around, which is a great reputation to have. And it's a great thing just as a person. But maintaining focus, of course, is important as an athlete. And so as we dive into sort of your new coaching with, of course, Brian Orser, world famous, world renowned Brian Orser, Tracy Wilson, for those who don't know, of course, at the Cricket Club just outside of Toronto. What has that experience been like, not only with the coaches, but with the team of skaters they have there as well?
Yeah, they have an amazing atmosphere at that rink. I think also coming from, you have the top seniors from all over the world, and they're on all different countries, which is really nice because it brings this energy and this competitive energy where you're not fighting for spots. You're just but you're also feeding off of each other, and everyone's kind of focused on doing the best that they can do, and the sessions move fast, and it's go, 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 but everyone's very focused. So that's really neat in the training environment, as well as Tracy and Brian are just such experienced coaches, as well as experienced athletes.
Right.
So they bring a lot of perspective, a lot of experience with them, and they've gone through rebuilding skaters over and over and over and over again that have reached really awesome heights that want to achieve more. So they bring a lot of patience and a lot of understanding of what I'm going through on the day-to-day basis, as well as there's a lot of other skaters there, especially after an Olympic year where so many people change and change coaches, that are going through the same thing that I'm going through and struggling through it on the day-to-day. So it's been nice to even go through that with them.
So you train with Yevgenia Medvedeva, and of course another just incredible talent skater out of Russia. What have you learned training with her?
Talk about focus. There is no one more focused than Yevgenia. What's so amazing and something that she really taught me was there's a way to be focused where it's not rude. For me, I always felt like if I didn't make eye contact with someone, or if I didn't acknowledge that they were near me or around me, I felt like there was something inside of me that just withered away, and I felt horrible. But training with her, she's so focused, and she's really taught me how to be focused without being rude, and how and what's cool is I almost respect myself more, and I feel almost empowered because of how much energy I'm really putting into changing my mindset and changing that. So that's really cool, as well as just her work ethic is out of this world, and she is a drill sergeant and goes and goes and goes. So being around that every day and seeing her both on and off the ice and hanging out with her both, it's been incredible. And I'm really learning a lot from her. But the big thing is change this year, and she's going through it and changing a lot and adapting, and we're both struggling through it, and we're both in different places with it, but we're so happy to be in Toronto, and we both love it there, and we're excited for what's ahead.
Well, you have good guides, of course.
Yes, you're lucky.
And, the year after the Olympics is a great time to have that change and evolution. I do want to ask, before we dive into fan questions, we'll take some of your questions shortly. I'm sure there are quite a few. This change, this growth is quite new still. You just moved in the summer.
Yeah, in June.
And going into the World Championships, what can we expect? What continued change and growth are you hoping for?
I'd love to put quad in the program. That's definitely, I'm still striving for that. It's been great this whole week. So I love the fact this is the first event this whole year that I've landed them on the practices, and been putting them out there. So I'm really proud of that. And that actually came a lot quicker than I thought with all the technical changes we were making. I struggled a lot this summer and a lot at my first events. But I think it's continuing to get more and more comfortable with Tracy and Brian. Going into this event, we were on the flight to Detroit, and I looked at Tracy and I was like, I do want to do well. I really want to do well, but more so than that, I just want to have more experience traveling with you guys. I just want, to get to Four Continents and get to Worlds so that I can have more opportunities with you and Brian this year, because the only really opportunity to get competitive experience is by competing. But that being said, when it comes to results, I'm so in that 4-year plan that I'm not even focused on that. Obviously, I want to do the best that I can, and obviously I want to represent Team USA to the best of my ability, but I'm so fortunate to be going to the World Championships with two of the greatest skaters in the U.S. and in the world. So to have an awesome team like that, and you're just going to go, and I'm going to try to be the best that I can, but really more importantly, just keep learning along the way.
And I know your coach's opinions mean a lot to you. And so what is that experience like? Of course, we all want to please our coaches. We all want the approval and all of that. So what has that experience been like?
Yes, moving to Toronto, at the beginning, Brian was a little hesitant for taking me on, just taking another student on because he has so many. And since coming, all I want is his approval. All I want is but at the same time, being a little relaxed. And one of the funny things, just a funny story about approval and really trying to win Brian over. We basically at the Cricket Club, they have a bell for a clean program.
Oh.
And they have this big bell that they ring when someone does a clean program. Yeah, which is really fun. And I was really struggling a lot this summer, but it took me about a few months even just to do a clean short, which I can clearly land all those elements, but what they were changing, and it was, long story short, I finally did a clean-ish short, a lot of scratchy landings, and I may have 3 turned out of an element or something, but Tracy went up and rang the bell a little bit, and Brian circled around and he was that was generous. And I was I didn't ring the bell for myself. I was like, oh, I have to keep working. But it's so great because he does push me every day, and I admire him so much, and I admire the level of excellence that he expects. And it takes a lot to kind of really grab his attention and to I don't know, but I love it and I strive for that. And I bonded with Tracy right off the bat. Still working on Brian, but hopefully soon. I hope he loves me, but hopefully I have more events to travel with him. So we'll see.
You do. Well, you do.
True. Yeah. So.
Well, my experience with tough coaches is that they know you can do it, and so that's why they're so hard on you. Okay, we're going to take some fan questions. My eyesight isn't great, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the mic.
Okay.
And I'm going to read you the questions.
Okay.
Okay?
Hi.
Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, ask some questions, everyone. Oh, Karen Jen says hi.
Karen, I love you.
What is the important thing you've learned at Toronto Cricket Club?
Wow, I think at this moment, I think one of the most important thing I've learned is patience. All around me are such incredible skaters, and so it's easy to kind of get lost in the feeling of oh my gosh, they're all just so good all the time. But I've learned also along the way that they have gone through a lot of change, and that they're learning, and that it does take time, and the coaches there are so patient. So I think that's been the biggest thing right now is I've learned a lot about patience and enjoying the small victories along the way.
A lot of people are saying hi.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone.
World is going to be so good. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, thanks. I think it's probably because you asked such amazing questions.
Jason, how much do you love Canada?
I really, really love Canada. Toronto as a city is incredible, and I've loved exploring it, especially in the summer. Now I'm kind of always buried in coats because it's freezing, but I really love it, and I'm so lucky to be able to train there.
How does it feel to train with Yuzuru Hanyu? Have you gotten much training time with Yuzuru?
Yeah. Love training with him. Talk about focus. He is Yuzu is really, really focused. But at the same time, what's really neat is he looks at all the athletes and he plays off of what they're doing, and he's very insightful. So he'll watch me do jumps and talk to me about them after the session, which is really sweet. And he'll every so often check up on me and yeah, but he's great. And I'm really excited, and he gave me a little pep talk before coming to this event. So very, very excited that I get to train with him, and it's been cool to learn from him.
Great. Well, Well, we'll just share the mic here, but thank you everyone for joining us. Congratulations, Jason, on a great U.S. Championships.
Thank you.
On to the second part of the season, and I know we and also we, the cyber universe, wish you the best. So
Thank you.
can't wait to see what the next competition holds.
Thank you so much. Me too. Excited to see what's next.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.